Hello, everybody. How's everybody going? Um, so, it's Tuesday. I don't know if, oh, yeah, Constantine's coming right now. So he'll be here in a moment. But, yeah.
Hello.
Oh, hi, Constantine. Uh, yeah, there's, stuff happened in Belgrade. Uh,
Andrew, can you hear me?
I can, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Oh, you're muted. Okay. I should turn on I should make sure to see if you actually work. Um yeah, you're oh, actually uh hey, my plugin's actually working this time. Anyways, so yeah, there's some action in Belgrade. I decided to start using raccoons for recon because they're cute. So that's what raccoons mean. Raccoons mean recon. Um, uh, Anyway, Constantine, are you there? Because I can see you and hear you. I just think you can't hear me, which makes it harder, to be honest. Um, but anyways, I'm gonna give Constantine a minute to figure this out. I'm gonna try to buy time. I was just scrolling through Telegram trying to find a video. Um, I'm just gonna keep scrolling because kind of want to show the video.
Andrew, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just that you can't hear me is the issue. Uh, And I'm not muted. I checked. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not muted. Oh, oh, I see the problem. I am muted. It's funny. Uh, he's probably. Can you guys hear him? It would be funny if everybody could hear everybody except Constantine can't hear me. Let me see if I can fix this. Where's where's the voice?
I can hear you on the stream, but I cannot hear you
Uh,
in here.
it's weird. It's weird that you can't hear me in here. Um, yeah, because I have my one sec. Uh, um, yeah, it should work.
Can you hear me now? Or can you say something?
I can.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can hear you now.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I think
Hello, everyone.
I think I fixed it. Yeah, I
Thanks.
it wasn't like registering my voice in Discord, so I just went into the settings and turned my voice on. I mean, I turned it off and then turned it back on again, which is the typical thing in technology. You just turn it off and turn it back on again, and that usually works. So,
Okay, great. Can you stream in the Discord as well?
oh, I was. Oh yeah, I remember now. I remember. Yeah, yeah. Accidentally turned off my computer before. I was trying to open a window and I clicked the off button. It was like, uh, anyway. So there you go. Okay, so that's that. All the technical difficulties are fixed. How are you doing, Constantine?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are things on your side? How many news today?
There's shockingly little news. There's kind of like a media blackout, to be honest. There are some. Oh, I finally found the videos I was looking for. There are some videos that came out this weekend that were interesting, um, and I'm gonna show them. But other than those videos, it's like, man, there's Belgorod that happened. I mean, and we're gonna talk about that. But other than that, it was obviously a distraction. I think we can all agree that it was a distraction. Um, and the thing that it was distracting us from is what I'm interested in. So to me, it's been really frustrating. Uh, but it's been a fun distraction, though. It's been fun. Um, okay, so I found the videos I was looking for. Um, Oh, do you want to talk about Belgrade first? I guess we should talk about it first.
Yeah, sure.
It's the Okay. So yesterday, a Ukrainian force of or whatever, uh, a force broke over the Russian border. And is this pronounced like Graveron? Is that how it pronounced? I don't actually know how to pronounce this.
To be honest, I only let me see how it's written in driver on.
Graveron. Okay, so in Graveron, they first broke through and they attacked this little area of like the border control or whatever this is. So they broke through. They attacked this area. They went up this road here, and there's like photographs and stuff of it. They went up this road. They kind of did something, and then they kind of went this way and did something over here. They blew up some Russian stuff. They blew up a truck here. They blew up a Rapira there. They kind of messed around. They the exact details and timeline I'm not sure about. But anyways, so long story short, they went through this area. They supposedly captured this town. Captured is in kind of air quotes here. Then at some point they withdrew from all of here, and one group withdrew and went back to Ukraine, and a second group came in, and the second group I don't think did so good. they kind of they didn't do so good, Cassidy. So the second group, they came in. Their job was to first build defenses somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where. I assume in like this forest, they're supposed to build trench lines and defensive networks somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where. But the long story short of this one is that yeah, in they drove two like MRAP type vehicles, and they parked them next to this building, and they drove a Humvee and this other vehicle, and they got stuck in a ditch right here, which is kind of embarrassing to be honest. And the so like all four of these vehicles were lost, and you've seen them. There were videos of strikes on this area, like drone footage. I'm not sure if it was a drone strike, like a Lancet, or if it was a like an aircraft guided bomb. I'm not really sure, but there are videos of explosions, and I believe a Humvee. I'm not sure where it was, but I believe a Humvee was exploded, and that wasn't too great. But after losing these four vehicles, the first group that went in, they captured a BTR, I think, and so they lost four vehicles and they captured a BTR, which is kind of a net loss, but whatever. In yesterday, the Russian response to this was firstly that they kind of wanted to ignore it and hope that it stopped, and then they realized that that wasn't working, so they sent in like some like special forces type people and some pieces of a brigade. I think it's a 79th Brigade or whatever they're called. They sent in some forces. I think it was like maybe two companies worth of people or whatever, and their job was to fix this problem, and they also sent in, I believe, a tank company from Belgrade. They were sent down the highway to get here, and they also sent in some air assets. One of their helicopters was shot down yesterday, or I don't
Which one? Which one was it?
actually I don't actually know if it was shot down, but it exploded. It was an what was it? I think it was an Mi-8, right? Yeah, Mi-8. It crashed and exploded up here. Oops, which is kind of far away. I don't know if it was shot down. It may have just crashed. Honestly, I'm not really sure. Or it's possible that Russia shot it down. I mean, who knows? Anyway, so a helicopter crashed, and I believe the crew died. After that crash, the rumors have it that Russia ordered their other pilots to first fly really low to the ground, and then second, they kind of grounded all the helicopters, from what I understand. I believe they sent in some fixed wing planes and they fired some stuff, some bombs. I don't know if they did anything. Then today, they sent in even more forces, which I believe were recalled from Moscow. I believe they sent guys from Moscow down. They were like special forces type people. And I don't know if it's like VDV or FSB or whatever they were. They're like special forces type people, not like normal soldiers or whatever. And from what I understand, at that point, Ukraine decided to just withdraw everybody back. The Russians say that they approached the fortifications that the Ukraine built. They say that it took them about 2 hours to approach the fortifications, and when they reached them, they realized nobody was manning them, and they had been abandoned. And apparently in that time period, they all melted back into Ukraine. So I believe that's more or less what happened here. And then these four towns, Russia claimed. I don't know if there's actual proof, but both Russia and like the Russian Legion and all those people, they claim that Ukraine sent recon elements into these four towns as well. And I've labeled them as raccoons because raccoon is now my official symbol of recon. So that's pretty much what I understand of this whole situation in Belgrade. And also tonight, reportedly, I don't fully know if this is true, but there's apparently a drone dropped a bomb right here. They say that Ukraine did it. I'm not 100% sure, but they say that a drone dropped a bomb in Belgrade. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think of all that?
So I don't think that Ukraine dropped the bomb. There was a video right on the street.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the elements of what they showed and said it's a bomb. It was one of the elements of S-300 air defense system. So I think they were shutting down the drone, and those are just pieces of the missile that fell.
Yeah, that makes sense. To be honest, that happens. There's a point in the day where I can't really read the news anymore, and that was after that point. So it's like I just kind of like read the headline and like because there's like there has to be like a line that I draw in the sand where I have to like prepare and stuff. So that happened after that point in time.
Yeah, so this was more like a propaganda, a slap. I don't think it was done to divert attention from Bakhmut or anything else. I just think it was more like, let's see what's gonna happen if we do this. It also shows a message to the world that Russia really does not have any red lines. They cannot do anything. They cannot escalate no matter what we do. It's like, this multi-layered win-win, I would say, for Ukraine. What is sad that they lost 4 vehicles indeed, but that's Russians once again. Don't trust vehicles to Russians. I think it was a bad idea to give them equipment. Should just send them.
Well, these vehicles were lost to stupidity. They were not lost
That's
in
what
combat.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And don't give. There's still Russians, right, who did this.
There were Belarusians too.
So I don't trust Russians, and I don't trust Russians with their equipment, no matter on which side they're fighting with.
But yeah,
that's my take.
Yeah. So the reason that Russia really was hoping that this whole thing was a stunt. They were hoping that Ukraine would come in because this has happened before. Like this is, I want to stress that this is not the first time this has happened. Okay, so like Ukraine has come in, broken through a door or something, taken a few photographs, and left. That's happened a number of times. Like if you remember when the Kharkiv when Ukraine had taken back Kharkiv, I believe near Ternova or somewhere around here, they a bunch of Ukrainians crossed the border and they took all those photographs at the border. Remember, like next to that
Yeah,
border pole, and then like
yeah.
a few of them like went down the street into like a town. I don't remember what town it was, but they like walked down the street and they were in the town. They're like walking through the town, taking photographs and stuff. Like Ukraine has done this before. And that's what Russia was hoping this was. They were hoping that they would just, Ukraine would go across the border, take some photographs and go back home. And they were really hoping
Well,
that was the
so
case.
it's pretty big checkpoint over there. So I honestly don't think that they could think about like that, because on checkpoint like this they have equipment there, they have people stationed. So then like that BTR was an example. You don't, they were expected to defend it, I think, but you
Well,
know didn't play out for them.
I think partway through yesterday, I think the Russians realized that this was more serious than they thought it was. And then they had to start sending in more forces. Because it is really obvious that the forces that were here were not prepared. They were believed, from what I've read, I don't know if it's true, but from what I've read, several of the forces there were not like given weapons, and the ones who were given weapons either weren't enough or they weren't prepared. They just weren't. They were not up to scratch. I think that's you can safely say that. Now, how many of them were taken out? I'm not really sure. The numbers of wounded and dead on both sides are unknown. I can tell you for a fact that at least one Russian died, and beyond that, I'm not really sure, to be honest. But I know one Russian died because there's a photograph of him laying dead. So anyway, so anyway, sometime yesterday they realized they had to send in more forces, and they apparently they threw in their special forces, and by special forces I believe these would be like their special police type of people. I think that would be maybe a better word for it. But anyways, it seems that this whole situation is now under control. Although there were some photographs taken like up here in like Bryansk or whatever, where Ukraine apparently crossed the border up here somewhere too. I don't remember where, but I should have marked it in a raccoon, but I didn't. So yeah, there's a. Anyway, so that's kind of that's all I really have to say about Belgrade. It was really it was funny. It's funny that it happened. It's unfortunate that they lost 4 vehicles. They did take out 2 vehicles and they stole one, so that's kind of four.
Which vehicles did they take out?
They took out two Urals and a Rapira,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they stole a BTR. So I don't know. Would you call that even, or what do you think?
Yeah, probably can call it even, but I would not like, I would take MRAP over the BTR at any day. So I don't know. Well, it gave a pretty good, if I think it gave pretty good moral effect on this. So I'm actually fine with that.
Yeah. So So yeah, but to me, it was just really frustrating because there's been no news. I mean, there's been news. I'm gonna get to some news, but oh my god, it's been really hard. It's been really hard. You have to really dig deep to get some news. Okay, moving on to I'm gonna start in Zaporizhia because this is kind of to me the most interesting area. Today, or I think it was today. Anyway, recently, near Dorozhnyanka, which is just south of Hulepol, Ukraine attacked and seemingly captured this position right here. It is, it's considered one of the important strongholds that Russia had defending this town because it's the T junction between these two big forest strips. So this was an important location that Ukraine has apparently captured. They also control this T junction right here, which the Russian forces have they've they've published a whole bunch of videos of them trying to drive Ukraine out of this T junction, and they have failed. So it appears that Ukraine now controls both of these junctions in the forest strips, one on each side of town, and it seems that this would be a prelude to them assaulting the town. Now, I'll tell you a short story that I've heard about this town from a guy who fought in the town when this happened. So this is a story that is coming from a first-hand account, and you can accept it or reject it how you see fit. But basically, what he said is that when he was stationed here, he was approximately here. It was in the outskirts of Hulepole, right around here, and the Russians, the Russian front line was roughly here at that time. The Russians, they assaulted the town, and the town was a gray area that neither side could enter. So Russia assaulted this town, and they continued north into this forest strip here. The Ukrainian forces who were in this forest strip panicked and fled north, and they fled to this forest strip, where Russia continued assaulting, and they fled this forest strip up to this forest strip, which is where this guy was roughly. His forces were sent down, and they recaptured this forest strip here, and the Russians fell back into the town itself, and that is how they captured the town on January 25th. Or the 24th, or it was somewhere around then. He told me on the 25th, although it may have been the 24th or the 23rd. So that is the story that he told about this. He told me that his battalion recaptured roughly half the ground that they lost, and they had pushed up to this forest strip. So since January, when at that point Ukraine controlled this big forest strip here, but not the town. So now they're getting closer to retaking this forest strip that they had lost in January. So I don't know whether you can trust his story or not. I don't know.
Is that 128th Brigade or which one?
He was in, I believe, the 57th.
Mechanized.
Yeah. So the other brigade, they were, I think they were like a Terro defense or something like that. And they were attacked with like armor, and they just kind of ran away. And his battalion had to retake some of the ground. He was only in this position for about a week, because then he left. But anyways, so that was his story of what happened there. So anyways, this area is kind of the most interesting news that I have today. I think, at least it's interesting to me because this is like an actual legitimate like thing going on that's different. Okay, so moving on from there, over last week, I marked this on the 18th, but it actually happened on I think the 17th or the 16th, which was last week. Ukraine attacked, and Ukraine recaptured this ground. I don't think they didn't recapture all of it because I had this all as a gray area. They really only captured this corner here, and the rest was a gray area. I didn't really know how to mark it, so they may have actually already controlled all of it. But this corner right here is really what they captured, and I have had no news since then. But that was exciting. Now moving on to all of this kind of ground, Marinka and Novomykolaiv. I have no news here. It's just kind of the same as ever. Now getting into Perovomayske, which is really the biggest news. This is really there are videos that I have to show, but here's one of the videos. I'm not gonna play audio for this, but this is not the right video. Here, let me click the right video. Here's one of them. That's a photograph. Let me keep trying. Okay, I'm gonna re-download the video. Where'd it go? Okay, give me a second. I'm having technical difficulties. Okay, so here. Okay, so here is a video of it's actually multiple videos put together of what happened in Perovomayske. And I'm going to explain some of this because this video kind of doesn't really give you the full picture of what happened. Although it does show everything, it's just not very clear. But this was a significant Russian attack. They took a lot of casualties actually. So basically, what happened? I'm gonna get rid of this arrow because I'm gonna be drawing. So the Russian starting position was like, I don't know, like over here or something. So they first, drove across this field to get into kind of this position. And this is kind of where the video starts. Actually, part of the video shows them driving across, but so basically from here, they decided to attack this way with infantry and then drive this way with armor. And you can see this in the video. So let me get to the part where they kind of show that clearly. See, you see some infantry dudes and some vehicles. This image right here is approximately here. Okay, so now moving forward in this video, you see this armor is moving up this tree line. This tree line is this one right here. Anyway, sorry. It's this tree line right here. So they're moving up this tree line. They're moving towards this. I don't know what this is. It's like this fortified thingy. It's like some farming thing. I'm not really sure what those are called, but I'll zoom in more on the map and show you. So they're moving towards this thing, whatever that thing is. So they're moving up like this. And you'll notice that there's this one over here that this video is not strictly in chronological order, so we'll see in a second what happens. That was a tank that was doing Overwatch that exploded from a Stugna. I think that's the same tank. Anyway, so okay, so this is the infantry assault. Or no, this is still the tank assault. So anyways, so they had infantry moving up this way, and they did not go so well. Actually, I think you can see it. I think those dots are infantry. But anyway, so they had infantry move up this way. They were mostly taken out by Ukrainian infantry that were stationed here and along the tree line, and I believe off camera to the right, which would be the south. I believe there were infantry in that tree line as well. So that the Russians they kind of got themselves surrounded, like on purpose, apparently. So they moved up. They got wiped out somewhere around here. Then the Ukrainians kind of turned their attention to these armored vehicles. They're moving up this tree line. You see one of them just exploded. Another one is probably going to explode very soon. And this attack was a total disaster. It really could not have gone worse. And this is not the only attack. You see that they lost a this is a BMD. This is an MRAP. I don't really know what it is. That's another MRAP. They also lost 2 tanks. And that is just this video. So they kind of had I believe like over here somewhere they had a tank kind of in an overwatch position that it was supposedly supposed to kind of cover the infantry as they moved up, except the tank like almost instantly died to a Stugna. So it was like over here, I think, and the Stugna was like up here somewhere. And it shot down and took out the tank. Then the infantry took out the infantry, and they turned and took out this armor. So this was a disaster. Now, in this one attack, they lost 5 vehicles, and I believe around 30 infantry altogether. Now, this was just one attack. There were more attacks in this general area. I believe there was another one in this kind of northern part, and there's just more attacks in general. Altogether, Russia lost around 20 armored vehicles.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, they lost around 20 armored vehicles, at least 30 infantry, and I believe Ukraine also captured. I believe they captured 22 infantry. I'm pretty sure that was one of these attacks. I'm not entirely sure if that 22 was one of these attacks, but I'm pretty sure it was though. So they altogether it didn't go well. It did not go well. Yeah. So there are more videos if I can figure out how to play them. Okay, give me a second. I need to like. I'm not even gonna spell the word right. Whatever. Who cares? Here we go. This is another video of another attack. You can see how well this one went. Oops. None of these attacks went so good. And so I believe that is a BMP that exploded. Or maybe I think it was a BMP. Then we have a tank here, and I think that's a BMP too. Yeah, this is and you see this is that like square thing that we were looking at before. I believe it's the same one. Yeah, they threw a lot of assets into attacking this, and also if you notice, that was a BMD. Now, I'm not really sure who uses what anymore, but typically a BMD is a VDV, right?
Yeah, BMD is like this descent, which is like landing vehicle basically.
I mean, I don't. I mean, maybe other people use it now. Like maybe these are Marines. I'm not really sure who these people are, but they didn't do so good. They took a whole lot of casualties and accomplished nothing. And there's another video here. I think it's not the. Why do I keep clicking that? Oh, here it is. This is a super long video. It's 6 minutes long. I'm not going to show it all, but you see, like, this is some infantry dismounting. You see some tanks driving around. If you look really closely, some of these like blurry pixels are destroyed BMPs. Some of the more patient among us have gone through and noted every destroyed vehicle in these images because there's actually a lot of them. Some of them are really hard to see. But you see this guy. He's trying to stay in cover, but he's not doing so good. Here, I'll show you where this video is taking place. It's right here. So those infantry were dismounting right about here. If you see, there's this drainage pipe thing, and there's this kind of path that goes down from the road. So the tank took that little path down from the road, and he's following this path on the lowlands across this field. So that's what he's doing. You see that little drainage thing right there. So that's a destroyed BMP, I believe, right there. There's like a lot of destroyed vehicles. This is not the first time Russia has attacked here. But yeah, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit because it's a really long video of him just driving across the field, occasionally getting shot at by artillery. Yeah, it is kind of a zoomed out version. I honestly have no idea what this tank is supposed to be doing. What do you think? Do you have any theories on this tank?
Like, maybe it's a mine roller. No.
I don't see any mine roller. I just see a tank.
Yeah.
See, this is the fun part. He just kind of was like, I'm bored. He turns around and goes back. What was he doing?
He was probably like, decided, okay, hell with it, I'm going back. Then he received another order. No, you go back and push, and he turned around. It's not like he was thinking. He's doing the orders, not just.
See, this to me, this is more interesting. This is the more interesting part where they're sending these BMPs down this other road. Because I'm like, to me, I want to know what's going down this road, but this video doesn't cover that road. This video is really interested in this one tank. I'm really not sure what this tank was trying to do. Like I don't really get it. But yeah, you see like all these BMPs are going down that road over there.
Tank is going back.
Yeah.
He confused the direction of attack.
He took the wrong right. It was your other right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he just goes back slowly. But these BMPs, what are they doing? See, this is more interesting to me. I wish there was another video following those BMPs. That's why I want to know where they're going. This was a really good video, just the geolocate though, because it's so easy to locate. So it was actually really nice having this video as part of those other videos, because otherwise it would have been harder to locate the other ones. So that's really the value of this one, I think. Anyway, so that's kind of the long, and he eventually goes down the correct road. Good for him. He got there in the end. So that is the Perovomayske. It's going poorly. There is another area that's gone really poorly, Constantine. for the Russians anyway. Um, and it's Bilohorivka. Bilohorivka has been a train wreck for the Russians. Um,
Which one?
this one, not the river one,
Okay.
not the river. It's this one that's like closer to Soledar.
Mhm.
They've been trying so hard to attack. Um, so recently, I don't know. It was the same time that Ukraine launched their attack north. So like the 11th, north of Bakhmut. I mean, it was the same time they attacked north of Bakhmut, and and roughly the same time they started attacking south of Bakhmut. So it was the same time frame, about 2 weeks ago or whatever. They Ukraine also attacked here, and they captured this position, um, and they held it for approximately 1 day. And Russia did a pretty strong counterattack, and now it's a gray area. And there are videos of what happened in this counterattack. So let's watch this video together, because this was part of that attack. From what I understand, it didn't go so good. Um, so here, this is pretty easy to locate on the map. You see this lowland, that's kind of curvy. This here, which is I believe a train track with this broken bit that I'll never be able to forget again. This is all like this is that lowland, and this is the train track. So this is taking place like right there. Um, Now we see a bunch of BMPs. They're trying to move north. Um, uh, that one exploded. What do you think of this attack, Constantine?
I don't like it's a failure.
uh, I don't know exactly how many vehicles Russia lost here, but I think it was around five or more.
It's it's when you look at this, it's staggering. You're thinking like, okay, when is Ukrainian counteroffensive is gonna start? But then you look at these videos, like, why would we do a counteroffensive if Russians just keep coming and
Yeah.
dying by themselves? Why bother?
Why not just let them tucker themselves out? Um, so that's one video of what happened here. There are other videos of this fighting. It went on for a bit, but that's kind of the main video. Um, so this section right here, they've lost a lot of vehicles, and I'm going to go back and tick through some of this because I think I've marked them over time. So yeah. So there's the BMP1, BMP1. I hate when the things go on top of each other. There's a BMP1. What else? I think there was more. They may have been too old. They may have, yeah, they're too old. So that must have happened on like the 18th or something because I only go back to the 19th. Anyway, so that's kind of that. So these are two areas that Russia has been taking significant casualties in recently. Now today, um, I see no attribution to these photographs. I don't know how to really interpret this, um, but there are these photographs, and these photographs are supposedly from Klishchiivka. These are all Russian abandoned vehicles in Klishchiivka. So this is MTLB. We have BMP2. Another MTLB. More MTLB. This is a Mustang, I believe, and some civilian cars. So all of these destroyed / abandoned vehicles around Klishchiivka, and I don't really know how to interpret this. So okay, so around Klishchiivka, Ukraine said today that they took what I think they said, quote, prevailing heights. I personally took that to mean that they captured right here. Although maybe I interpreted it wrong. But I believe that Ukraine is trying to capture this whole gray area to kind of set up one line of control that would be fully west of Klishchiivka, from which they could attack Klishchiivka itself. That is kind of what I'm trying to read the tea leaves here. I've seen very little firm information about what's going on here, other than they said we captured prevailing heights, and I don't really know what that means. I think some people interpreted it to mean that they captured this hill, but I don't think so. I don't think they captured the hill yet. So I guess we could go into 3D and see if there are any, quote, prevailing heights. Yeah, I don't really know. What do you think of these prevailing heights? I don't really know what a prevailing height is here. Everything seems more or less flat.
Well, it's prevailing height over the Klishchiivka itself, as I understand.
Well, there's that. I just don't think they did though. Like I don't think they did though.
Yes.
I mean, it's possible.
They said today I read that they like advanced 250 meters, something, which is like, I mean, for a one day, it's not like terribly bad, but nothing to change tactical,
Yeah.
you know, strategically in this area.
So like 250 meters is like that far.
Yeah, that's probably they mean. Yeah, it's it's still progress if you take.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
You give a week, and they're gonna get to Klishchiivka. Those are important positions.
it's just
So,
yeah, I'm not saying that 250 meters is bad. I just don't know where it happened. The problem, the issue is like 250 meters where? Is it 250 meters
yeah,
there?
so
Or
if
is
it's
it
there,
250 here?
if it's taking over important position, that's very important. 250 meters. If it's 250 meters, just over something that is not as important, then it's not too much.
Yeah, I just don't know how to really interpret what's going on in Klishchiivka. There's so little news here. It's basically a media blackout, to be honest. Today, from what I've heard today, the official number is that Russia had 3 assaults around Bakhmut today, and I believe all of them were in Chromave. But they attacked 3 times, 3, like 1, 2, 3, that many. So that's not so many. They used to launch like 50 a day. Now it's down to 3 apparently. But what I assume is that they're kind of taking a break after capturing the majority of the city. They don't actually control all of the city. From what I understand, this gas station, which is considered a significant position. But from what I understand, this gas station is
it's not working.
still
It's closed.
contested. Yeah, it's closed, but it's contested, I believe, if not under Ukrainian control. So this gas station is considered a very significant defensive position. Probably, I think you could say that this is the last position that Ukraine can claim any control over in Bakhmut. The rest of the city's pretty much gone. So, and I don't even know if, I mean, it's possible Russia even took this gas station, but I'm not really sure. They've been trying to attack Chromave from two sides, and I don't think they've had any success here, or if they have, it's not been significant. And that's kind of the Bakhmut news. I don't really have any more information about anything in this area, to be honest. There's the Belgorivka information and the Perovomayske. There was a rumor today, and that I've asked around trying to get clarification, and and nobody's responded to me. I don't anyway. But the Russians said that Ukraine attacked Krasnohorivka yesterday / last night. I don't know if that's true, and if it is true, I don't know what the result was. So that's it's kind of it's like a media blackout. It's hard to talk about things when there's no information, and it's been very cloudy. One thing I do want to point out that I just found it super interesting that right here, Russia dropped a whole bunch of really big bombs right there, and I don't know what to make of that. I have it marked as a gray area. Perhaps it is Ukrainian held. I'm not really sure, but they dropped a whole bunch of bombs right there. So you can make it that way you will. But that's kind of like all the information I have today, to be honest. That's just like it's really not much. Oh, there's another story. I forgot about another story. Um, and this is really frustrating to me. Because I got a news item today that Ukraine attacked an island. Okay, and they sent me photos and videos of this attack, and I saved it to read it later. And when I came back to read it, everything was deleted and I couldn't read it anymore. So I never actually got to like analyze the photos or videos, which was frustrating to me. But I think I don't know because I couldn't analyze it, but I think they attacked right here. I'm not really sure though. Um, there was another attack that was separate from that, where Ukraine attacked a different island. I think anyway, I'm not really sure which one, but they attacked a different island and they got shelled by the Russians. The Russians like posted a video of them being shelled and said that they killed everybody, and Ukraine posted a video showing that everybody was still alive. So I think I can show that Ukrainian video of them still alive. The guy is dancing and stuff here. One sec. This is him showing how alive he is. His boat got hit by artillery. The boat is sad, but he's doing okay.
Well, he's not really smart, I would say.
But yeah, he's just kind of showing how alive he is, really. So anyway, so that's kind of all I got. I don't know what else to say.
Nice. Well, it's a good update. I think the Russian losses that you have highlighted are pretty significant, and in total the amount were pretty big.
We're talking like over 25 armored vehicles lost over the course of a few days, like 3 days.
That's a battalion. That's a battalion worth. So it's and that's what is documented on the video, right? There is so much more happening that we don't see. So
And And these other losses around Klishchiivka, um, they seem significant. I don't know what the timeline is for those losses, but it seems like a lot. They've lost a lot in Klishchiivka. Like how many of those Nona mortars do you think are in like a battalion?
None. It's not a battalion
Well,
level.
what is the unit of a Nona? How many?
It's usually in the brigade.
Okay.
Well, it can probably VDV has VDV battalions may have a fire support platoon that has nonas. So if we're talking about platoon, that means up to 3 in the battalion.
Because they've destroyed like six of them in Klishchiivka.
So, yeah, that means up to 2 battalions probably, because you would want to have usually one nona mortar per company, and standard battalion is 3 companies, maybe 4. So that's around 2 battalions worth of mortars.
They destroyed them in such a short period of time too. It was crazy. They were destroying like three a day. It's like for like it was like 3 days they destroyed six. I think it was like 3, 2, 1, like that. Anyway, so we have some questions about these deep strikes. So the deeper strikes around that Ukraine has been up to, because there have been a few. This is just the past few days. This is from the 19th to till today. So it's 5 days. So yeah, there are a few super interesting ones today. This strike right here on this very specific building, Ukraine had scouted this building for a while. Russian soldiers were using it for like recreational purposes or whatever, and they used some sort of guided weapon to hit it. I'm not sure what. I mean, it could have been like Excalibur. I'm not really sure. This is like a not very far, you know. I don't know, but I believe they used some sort of guided weapon to hit it. It's out of ATGM range, I think, so it may be like an Excalibur. Now down here, yeah, here, in this specific building right here, which is right next to this hospital, um, the Russian FSB set up a what I believe was like a some sort of like a headquarters or something in this building, and Ukraine decided to shoot a Gimler at it, and they claim to have killed all of them, although who knows if that's true. And also, they shot something else in this same town with a Gimler like 2 hours later. So they shot two Gimlers into that town today. Now, if we get into Plohi, Ukraine has been absolutely hammering this mineral facility thing that's on the northwestern outskirts of Plohi, and this facility, Russians were using it to store vehicles, from what I understand. There's a story that after a particularly bad round of shelling yesterday, I think the Russians drove a bunch of people into this town over here, which is Voskrenska or whatever it's called. Anyway, they drove them into this town, and they say that they buried them here. It seems like something that someone would say, but not necessarily be true. But Ukraine has been shelling all of the major areas of Polohi. They've been hitting this mineral place. They've been hitting this. There's like a chemical factory over here, and there's whatever this thing is up here, and whatever that thing is down there. This is like the oil train station place. So Ukraine has been hitting this whole area, just hammering all of the industrial areas. Now, in Tokmak, I don't know really anything about these strikes. They just list that they're hitting like the southwest of Tokmak all the time. I have really nothing to say about that. Um, there the other day there was a strike between Mykolaiivka and Pryshib. I don't really have any details. I do know that Russia built a bunch of defensive structures in between these two towns, so maybe they shot that. I don't know. Um, so yeah, and now getting down into Berdyansk, there are reports of Ukraine hitting the airport and also hitting this area that is near the garbage dump, where supposedly Russia has some sort of like training facility near this garbage dump, like maybe in these fields north of it. I'm not really sure where, but everyone just describes it as the garbage dump. So say they've been hitting there. Around Mariupol, there was, I believe, a storm shadow strike on this facility here. It was like a bunker busting type thing. It like blew a hole in
When
this.
was it? When was it? When did it happen?
It was a few days. It was the 19th. But there were like satellite images of the aftermath of this, where it like blew a hole, like right here. It's like a big crater in the ground. And that's kind of what Storm Shadow was. I believe it was like designed to do that sort of thing as a bunker busting missile, right? So where it has like a shaped charge, right? So it when Storm Shadow hits, it has a shaped charge that like blows up the bunker, and then like the main charge blows up after that. I think that's how it works. Anyway, so there were other missile strikes in Mariupol that I could not locate. I was so frustrated because they told me the exact locations of where all these strikes were, and I still couldn't find them. And that's like the most frustrated that I get. So when I know exactly where it is and I still can't find it. But there were other strikes in Mariupol as well. There were like of something. I have no clue what would be hitting it. I think it's out of Gimler's range. It could be drones or something, or a weapon that we don't know. That now in Volnovakha, there were I believe on two separate occasions ammo depots or ammo caches, some sort of ammo destroyed. Now south of Pavlivka and Makilska, we have destroyed MTLBs and destroyed BMP. Not super exciting, but they all add up, I guess. Now over here, I can't remember what this was. Oh yeah, this was a destroyed ammo depot at this little airport thing. We had a drone strike on this little hill. This was a ATGM that they destroyed with a drone. That's pretty cool. Destroyed Russian tank. Anyway, I should say that Ukraine lost the tank today. It wasn't actually lost. It was damaged. It may have been lost. But I could only confirm it was damaged. But they did lose a tank today. So yeah, there was what else? What other strikes were there? I don't know. I don't remember. I can't remember them all. Some of them are just like people just say there was a missile and a large explosion right here, and then they like show a photograph of the building on fire. I'm like, okay. Anyway, so yeah. So what do we make of all of these strikes? These drone strikes on railways in Crimea. These ammo depots destroyed, in Aleshki and Holoprestan. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't make out of much of them. It seems like Ukraine gets the capability and starts using it. Like with drones, we got some newer suicide drones that have further reach, and we keep using them. Keep using them. Some of them are more successful. some of them will learn, tactics to avoid the Russian air defense systems, and so they are more successful. So Storm Shadow is of course another how you say this, like capability that we have. However, it seems like we don't. It does not seem like it's something before the counterattack yet, because I could imagine if we do counteroffensive, we would have to do a bit more of this, and we would hear much more about this. And it should be a bit more successful, I would say, because the numbers of these attacks are not that huge or not that successful, I would say. So it's too early to say that this is something before the counteroffensive. That's what I think, and I know that counteroffensive is not ready yet. There were some delays with equipment supplies. There are some delays with the training as well, from getting the troops back from overseas, from training by other countries, and that's why it's probably going to be delayed a bit more. So that's the reality. This is what I hear.
I don't think it's getting delayed. I don't. I think people are just wrong about when they thought it would be. I don't think it's been delayed at all. I think it's happening according to schedule.
Oh, I don't agree with you, but that's fine. Just saying.
All the sources that I had I said it on streams in February and March, and I kept saying it, and everybody said I was wrong. But I thought that June was the earliest that Ukraine would ever attack, and and I thought that they would attack in July or August, and perhaps even September. And I still and it wasn't based on just like making things up. Like that was based on like trying to source material, like trying to figure out what was going on. And I still think that those estimates are accurate. Like I think June, I think they could attack in June, but I think it's more likely it'll be July or August. And I don't think they've been delayed. I think people were overly optimistic on when it would start.
Well, the fact that people were overly optimistic. I mean, that the people were overly optimistic doesn't really, cancel the other things, such as having problems and needing to delay it. So, uh, and I don't think that's one means one cancels another one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think these sorts of attacks that we're seeing, like in Pervomayske, where Russia is just losing like 2 dozen vehicles, achieving nothing. Like I
Yeah,
think these sorts of attacks are what Ukraine
a
wants.
that's one of the ways to postpone, to delay the counteroffensive by Russians. Keep feeding the equipment, and then and people and Ukrainians will think, okay, well, let's not counterattack until they're sending troops to their death.
Yeah, it's just like it's you gotta wait for the Russians to get tuckered out. They need to get tired first. They still have a little left in them, so you may as well. You know, Ukraine is better off, in these defensive positions, with cover on all sides. They have, ATGMs up here. They have like tanks over here. Infantry in these, fortified positions, surrounded by minefields. All this area is kind of a minefield. They're better off taking out the Russians fighting like this than if they attacked somewhere and they had to fight all these vehicles where instead of Russia assaulting across the field, it's Ukraine assaulting across the field. It's a lot easier killing them right now. So, but I think that I think Ukraine has an idea on when they want to attack, and that timing is largely dependent on how many vehicles Russia has at its ready, like how many they can use to defend with, and how many they can use to counterattack on their own. Because I think Ukraine is tracking this stuff, and it's very important to them. So I say Russia should keep attacking Perovomayske, and then if they want to, they can keep attacking Belgrade, because it's going great. Anyway, so that's kind of all I had to say for today. Um, yeah. So I guess we'll be back on Thursday.
Thank you for inviting me, and it was great stream. Thanks for coming.
Oh, there's one more thing. There's one more thing I want to say. It's not super important, but um, the weather report for Ukraine has changed somewhat dramatically since last week, which is kind of it happens with the weather, you know. But last week they were saying that like Belmok Polohi area of Zaporizhia was going to get just crushed by rain, and other areas would get lesser rain. Well, the weather report has shifted somewhat, so these areas will still get some rain, but not as much as predicted. The heavier rain, I believe, is going to be more around Donetsk, but more importantly, the total amount of rain expected is like half of what they were originally predicting. So that it's going to be like significantly less rain than originally thought. So that would mean it would take a lot less time to dry out afterwards. In fact, it might be so little rain that it won't really need to dry out. Maybe it'll just, just go away after like a day or two. But anyways, that's the last thing I wanted to say. So I guess we'll be back on Thursday, everybody. Thank you for listening, and you can press the like button if you liked it. That'd be nice.